When I was in preschool, I remember just sitting down at this painting table and just, there was chaos around, and just sitting down and feeling like this is what I need to do, So I remember specifically making like certain lines and dots on a piece of paper with white paint. It was a blue piece of paper with white paint. And then I remember my mom growing up would always do collage with us, like just with fabric and cardboard and like little dried beans and stuff like that. And to me, that was just like a sense of makes sense, this is what I want to do, and like it just felt right doing that. I don't think I really thought about being an artist though until I was in maybe late high school, because I didn't really think you could be an artist as a career. Like I thought, well, if you're an artist, you have to be famous. You have to be like Cezanne or somebody. And then I just started to be exposed to, artists who are making work all over the place, and they don't have to be like in the Louvre or something, but there's so many people making art all over, and I realized it was possible, So that's when I decided, I think, maybe when I was like 16 or 17 to be an artist. I'm not somebody who has ideas of what art is, or, I think it would be cool to be like a philosopher of art, but I honestly just do it because I want to, and it's what I want to do, and I feel like that's what I'm supposed to do. I don't know, I just see a piece of paper and I want to do something to it. I see color, and it's two color combinations that really inspire me or seem odd together, or what makes me want to do it and makes me want to sort of go after that, I would say. I think in terms of the work that I'm doing now, the most important part is the history that's involved in the pieces, the actual physical parts. So I've been reworking old things. I've in the past made giant gouache drawings that were like 5 feet by like 8 feet, and using like this sort of vocabulary that I had generated. And I had a lot of pieces that weren't resolved, and they were taking up a lot of space. And there are a lot of really nice paper that wasn't being used, and I thought, how can I respond to the forms in these works and sort of use that to go forward? I sort of opened that paper and removed any image that isn't a part of my vocabulary currently. And so what I was left with was this sort of zigzag shape of paper. And so in a way I was responding to the old sort of marks that I had made, making work from previous work, and sort of giving myself a way of making an abstract shape. And then the color kind of just came in organically, thinking about gradients and different color combinations. So yeah, I would say right now the most important part is responding to something that existed before, whether I have completely generated that myself or whether that was sort of a haphazard cutout shape that I had made, or a stencil, or even just something that I had discarded before. So it's important to me that the work has like a passage of time, and even if it only took 5 minutes to get it into that present form, maybe there was 2 years from when I started to when I finished. I have that up and down that you go through, where when you find a discovery or something really exciting happens in the studio, and sometimes I'm like laughing and like, oh my gosh, this is great. Like I love this. This is perfect. And then a few hours or maybe days later, it's like, oh my gosh, I hate that. Or even if you follow that through and you have like a body of work that's cohesive from it, sort of not knowing where to go after that, or not knowing how to continue it, or just kind of losing that first excitement that you had. So I think it would be about looking for something that's new and interesting to you, and then keeping it that way, and finding new ways to interpret it or invent it. Because as an artist, you could be making anything, and even if you have your own style or you're on a very specific path, you're going to run out of ideas. And you're always trying to kind of come up with new ideas and make them your own, but being aware of the other artists who have done similar things, but not wanting to like redo what they've done. So it's hard to sort of know where to look sometimes, and where to get inspiration, and are certain things interests of yours, or are they related to your work? I'm interested in say like textiles. Is that actually part of my work right now, or is that just something I like? I would say Sheila Hicks is somebody I really respond to in her work. There's a lot of play and surprise, and kind of it's just kind of fun, the choices she's made, weaving stones into like a crooked like triangle shape weave. It's really interesting. I also really like Jessica Stockholder, and I think you probably wouldn't notice that right away when you think of my work, specifically because I'm not a sculptor, but I love like how kind of the decision she's made to like paint the wall and then put these plastic objects next to other giant shapes, and just the way she experiments with shape and color and the environment, and just those intuitive choices that an artist makes. I have worked in the past very conceptually, and right now I don't think that is true. Right now it's formal for me. It's not like certain shapes don't mean specific things. In the past, I've actually, like, working with color, I've made up rules so that certain colors meant certain things, so that I would have everything have like a real meaning in my work. So right now I would say it's strictly like the form and the process of making things, rather than conceptual issues. So when I see a piece of paper, I just need to cut it, and it's not, so I guess that would be process, and specifically this piece right here, a friend found like this very large piece of paper. It was way bigger than it is right now, in a dumpster, and it was a photography backdrop paper, and I was working on really large paper at the time, so he gave it to me, and then I sort of rolled it up and stored it for a long time, and I think it got like bent and moved and folded, and I think I came back to it maybe like 2 years later, a year later, and I opened it up, and it was like all dinged up and wrinkled and folded, and so that was really interesting to me, and the history of the sort of transportation of this piece of paper, and what it had gone through and what it was used for.